So student loan debt is a big issue. It's one that we've been trying to address since I've gotten to Washington. And we've done a number of things to try and help somewhat. We increased the amount of Pell Grants that are available, so the size of the grant that's available. We changed the federal student loan program to get rid of the middle people, the people who were managing those loans, so that we've saved about $68 billion, and a lot of that money has gone back into trying to pay for grants and loans for students. You may remember last summer when the Stafford loans were, anybody here have the Stafford loans? The Stafford loans were about to double from 3.8% to 6.4%. And we were able to come to some agreement that would keep those loans at 3.8%. I think it's 3.6% for several years into the future. Now, that's an issue that I think we need to revisit, because if we don't continue to look at that, that amount is going to go up in the out years. But at least in the short term, we've made it possible to keep the interest rates on those loans at 3.6%. And then there are two other things that I think a lot of times students don't know about that have happened. One is for those of you who are thinking about public service kinds of professions, so teachers, law enforcement, military, health professionals, you can have your debt written off if you spend so many years working in those fields. So for some of you who are thinking about those careers, that's a great way to be able to write down your student loan debt. And then the other thing that we just passed is a cap on your repayment of your student loans at 10% of what you're earning. So when you get out, you may qualify to be able to cap that student loan debt at 10%. And I would encourage you to look at all these things as you're thinking about how you're going to pay off your loans. Now, the legislation that we've been working on, and we've talked to experts here at UNH, the financial aid folks at other colleges and universities around the state. And one of the things that we've heard is that a lot of times as you get busy as a student, as you're worried about making sure you graduate and get the grades you need, that sometimes it's hard to keep track of exactly the amount of your student loan debt. And if you have them in private and through the federal government, it's hard to keep track because those are kept separately. So what we're proposing is to introduce legislation that would expand the portal that exists now through the federal government to allow you to check on all of your student loan debt on one site. So you don't have to worry about different passwords, different sites that you have to go to find out what's happening with your student loans. The other thing that's part of the legislation is a piece that would encourage universities and colleges to do a better job of keeping you up to date on what's happening with your student loans, so that you know more about what the impact of those student loans are. I had a round table about a year ago at UNH Manchester talking to students about their student loan debt. And one of the things several of them said is, we wish at the time we took out these loans that somebody had told us what the long-term impact of that was going to be. And so part of this legislation is designed to better inform you about what the long-term impact of what you're doing with respect to your loans are. So we haven't introduced that legislation. I think we're going to try and do that either this week or next week, and are still getting input from folks at the college level about any concerns they have as we get the legislative language drafted, so we can get feedback from folks. So if you have thoughts about that this morning, I would encourage you to share those with me, because we can still incorporate your thoughts into the legislation.